Hey guys, this Sunday we are wrapping up our Easter series, and with it being Palm Sunday, we are going to do something a little bit different because I think Palm Sunday is a great Sunday to do something different every year. Last year, if you were around and you remember, we read the entire Gospel of Mark in one sitting. I've had so many middle schoolers beg me to never do that again, that is not what we're doing this time. Instead, what we're going to be doing is we are going to have kind of it's going to be a somber night. It's going to be tough. We'll get everybody in. We'll play a game. It won't be a trivia game. I'll find something different. We'll have a time of worship. And then, rather than do a message, I'm going to get up and tell all of our students that we're going to watch a scene from a movie. And it's going to be displaying Jesus and his crucifixion story. And if students want to leave at any point in this because it's too much to handle or too much to watch, they're more than welcome to. They don't have to watch any of it or all of it. If they need to just turn away and look somewhere else during it, that's totally fine too. But we're then going to watch right around 30 minutes of the Passion of the Christ. And we're going to watch starting from the moment when Simon of Cyrene gets kind of recruited or told that he's going to be helping Jesus carry the cross. And we're going to watch all the way from that until when Jesus gives up his spirit and says, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit," and dies on the cross. And it is hard to watch, man. It's tough. And after that, we're going to dismiss straight into small groups. All of our middle schoolers and high schoolers will go to small groups together, and you're going to go through a very similar small group experience with everybody. First, you're just going to spend some time checking in with your kids, seeing how they're doing after watching that. For many of them, this may be the first time they've ever seen this. And if you've watched The Passion of the Christ before, you know that it's graphic, it's gruesome, and it's kind of hard to watch. And so just check in with them, see how they're doing after witnessing that, see, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You may not get to anything else in your small group time, and that is totally okay. After you have that time kind of checking in with everybody, I'm going to have you read 2 different passages from Scripture. One is, and you can have your kids read this, you can popcorn, every few verses or whatever, you can read the whole thing, it doesn't matter. But you're going to read through all of Isaiah chapter 53, which is the suffering servant chapter, where Isaiah is prophesying that the servant, this Messiah, is going to take on just a ton of punishment. And then after you do that and ask, questions of like, did anything stand out to you? What are your thoughts? That sort of thing. After that, you're going to read through Colossians 1:15 through 23, which is Paul's really, really short, brief summary of why Jesus had to die. And it's a really great passage. You'll get kind of a feel for that with your kids. And then afterwards, you're going to start discussing this idea of like, why did Jesus have to die? Like, why is this something that we remember all the time with Easter, with communion? Why do we talk so much about Jesus' death? And you'll kind of just talk through it. There's really theologically, yes, there is a right reason. But a lot of the thoughts and reasons, feel free to you're going to navigate some murky waters. There's not a clean cut, boom, this is the right answer. A theologian would disagree with me. But I know that you're going to handle this really, really well. Afterwards, there's a video from the Bible Project that talks about atonement and talks about Jesus' death, and they do it so well. Their visual representation of sin and atonement, I think, is incredible. So I've got that video linked in your small group leader guide. I'll also drop it later on in this chat because it's something that I find amazingly helpful. I think it will also help your discussion. So if this is something that you want to show on a phone during your small group time, that's great. If it's something that is just going to help your discussion and your kind of mental thoughts through what atonement means, then I think that could be really helpful as well. But that's just a resource that I think is going to be really, really good. And then you'll kind of wrap up the night. It's going to feel like a somber night. And I think that's okay. Imagine kind of our feeling with Good Friday. And we're emulating a lot of that this Sunday night. So people aren't going to necessarily be leaving, super excited and giddy and happy, because the hope is that our students will experience that emotional high the following Sunday as we all celebrate Easter together. Because if we don't encounter what we call as Good Friday, the death of Jesus, and we don't encounter that reality, that stopping moment, then Easter Sunday doesn't have the same gravity. And so I think that what we're trying to do is take that emotional low so that we can have a really good emotional high on Easter, and just so that we can encounter the full breadth of emotion, the full breadth of humanity. So that's going to be this Sunday. I am excited for it in ways of, I think that this will lead to a lot of growth, and I think that this will be a really good step for our students to take. I can't say that I'm excited about it because we're all going to have just a wonderful, jolly old time, but I know that it'll be good. And if you have any questions, if you want to know, I've got the exact minute marks of what we're going to be watching, and I can send that to you. The Passion of the Christ is free on Amazon Prime. That's how we're going to be watching it. And so, if you have anything that you would like to talk about beforehand, drop it in there in this group chat. Let's chat about it. If you're asking the question, other people probably are as well. So that's everything for this coming Sunday. Easter Sunday, we'll all hang out at the church in the morning and celebrate Easter, and then go home to your families, your friends, and eat just a ton of Easter food and hang out for the night, celebrating with people. We're not going to have student ministry, and then we will have student ministry the following Sunday, where our next step, I just finished working through all of this. We're going to go through a series through the book of Jeremiah, and this is all stuff that I've written and I'm working through. So I think it'll be really fun. I think it'll be a great time, and I think there's going to be some really cool stuff from this Old Testament prophet. So guys, all of that to say, I love getting to serve with you. Man, I love what we get to do. There's so many times, today was one of those days, writing through, working on this stuff for Jeremiah, that I'm just like, wow, I get paid to do this. We all get to take part in guiding students to know and love Jesus and be transformed into Jesus's image and be more like him. And we just get this opportunity. And I'm so glad I get to do it alongside you. Because outside of youth ministry and this church, there's not another reason why you and I would ever hang out or talk. Probably not. And it's so amazing that God has brought us all together for this. And I really, really love it. So guys, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the way that you're investing in these kids. And I cannot wait to serve with you this Sunday night.